So when dealing with Facebook ads, there are a couple things that you need to know. There's different phases that your account is typically going to go through, and I do have a couple methods that I use right now that work very well. This method is more for when you're just starting out, and say you have a Shopify store or whatever, you're doing leads, lead gen, it doesn't matter. This will apply. So it's basically the 80-20 rule, and this rule says that we all pretty much know, but 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your products. So if you're doing, say, a Shopify store selling t-shirts, which is not a bad idea, 80% of your results are going to come from a few winners that are going to carry the whole campaign and beyond. So you're going to be spending a lot of money in testing. And what I found is I have a method where I actually split it into a test campaign and a winner campaign. And it does work and it works very well. But when you're starting, I think you need something probably before that a little bit, and this is an option. So my two-step method is really good, but this is not it. This is the 80-20 method, and it's all based on your ad spend. So what is it? It's 80% of your revenue is going to come from 20% of your products. You want to set up your campaigns to reflect this. What I suggest, if it's a new Facebook ad campaign, is set up one campaign and use ad set budgets instead of like CBOs, use ABOs, the old school, that's what we used to call them. The ad sets are going to be set to the budgets depending on the 80-20 rule. So I did a quick calculator in my trusty Google Sheet and I said, okay, if I have a $100 budget, obviously 80 is going to go to the winners and 20 is going to go to the testing. When you're starting out, you might not have any winners. So you have to apply 100% to the tests until you get winners, and that's when you shift and you go 80% to the winners and 20% to testing. So let's say you're starting super low. Well, if you have a $20 budget, that's it. And you're like, I want to start super low, super slow, just get this going, get it warmed up, get some sales, figure out what my actual winners are. Then your winners are going to get $16 and your tests are going to get $2. So if you have like one winner, you could test one winner at $16 and then one test at $4 within the same campaign and just have ad set budgets. Now, as far as ads for these actual ad sets, what I like to do inside this campaign, in the 80-20 campaign, is I will have my winners ads are direct to the product first, and then I'll also have winners ads to the best sellers collection as a carousel ad. That little carousel ad going to your collection page of all your best sellers within this entire campaign in the 80-20 method does really well. It does actually awesome. Carousel ads, I don't know why, but they seem to be performing like really well recently. I don't know if you found the same in your account. The winner ads could be like a static image. It could even be a slideshow, or it could be a carousel of just the winner. But what I like to do is the winner ad that's direct to the product is basically the individual product. And this one, I'll load up like all my winners into a carousel. And so part of that budget, if I have two number of ad sets, I have two, I'm going to be spending $8 on the winners, so that's each, and then $4 on the test. Now, $20 is not a lot to start with. Let's say you're at 50 now. Well, your winners are going to get $40 and your tests are going to get $10. So you've got two here. You've got two winners, which is your winning ad, and then your best selling collection page. You've got one test. So each of your winners is going to get a $20 budget under the ad at the ad set level, and your one test is going to get $10. So for rules too, you can really make this work very well. You can say, like, in my test campaigns, if I spend $20 without a sale, or $30 or $40 without a sale, you can have your automatic rules turn it off. So that's a very cool feature too, which allows you for a lot of hands-off things. So from manage, I'm just going to put notes here. As far as managing, you can set up automated rules to turn off tests. And that is very simple to do. You just click the little rule drop down, click it, and you can turn them off. Now, when you turn off a test, that frees up some budget. So you can go and you can do another test and another test and another test. Because I know, like when I have a Shopify store, in the print-on-demand world, I've got multiple products, and I want to test them all. So this is a good way that you can test them all while your winners are still kicking butt. So your campaign overall will not be affected. Like, the whole reason for this setup is basically do not touch your winners. When you do, they tend to flop. So I know there are some methods out there that say, you do your test campaign, then you move your winner from your test to your winning campaign, which is fine. But there are instances when you move that from the test campaign to the winning campaign, and then the performance just isn't there anymore. So what I've been finding lately is that when I run it under one campaign, as long as I have my budget allocation set to the 80-20 rule, it's fine. So it's not going to hurt the performance of my campaign overall to do this, but it will still allow me to test. And testing is key. And testing is not just ads. You want to be test mockups like lifestyle versus flat lay. You definitely want to test that in your ad images, and you want to be testing products all the time to find more winners. So eventually, you get this campaign going, and you're increasing the budget as you move along in like probably 20% increments, and you get to a point where you're at like 500 a day. Okay, now you've got 400 that you can spend on your winning products, and 100 that you can spend in testing. But let's say at this point you have like 5 winning products. Well, look at that. Each of your winning ad sets within this campaign is going to be spending $80 a day. And your tests, now you can increase your tests too. You could even go up to 5. So you could have 5 test campaigns running at $20 a day each, and 5 winning products running at $80 per day each. This is going to give you a consistent result. And then when you go up even more, now you're at like $750 a day. Well, now you got 600 to spend on winners and 150 to spend on testing. So let's say now you pick this up and you picked up like a couple extra winners, and you've got the ability now to do more testing. So you could go up to maybe 7 tests or maybe even 8. So you can see that even though I'm testing more ad sets than my winning ad sets, it doesn't matter because the budget is set at the ad set level. So now in this scenario, I'm at $750 a day. That means you have a kick-ass store, or your lead gen campaign is really kicking butt. You're doing really, really well at $750 a day. There are people that spend a lot more, but the more you spend, the less your actual return on ad spend is going to be. But at the same token, your profits do go up overall as you spend more. It's just not as efficient. So if you're at the point where you're spending $750 a day, you're doing really well. You're going to be finding winners all the time. You're going to be killing off the losers very quickly. And really, the portion of your daily budget that the losers are spending is so low, it's not going to drag down the overall ad campaign. So I think that was one of the issues I was running into in moving ads from campaign number 1 to campaign number 2 to campaign number 3, is the performance would be lost. Because once that, it's like, I relate it to like planting a tree. So you have a little seed and you dig a hole and you put the tree in there. That's your test. You put the seed in there. You water it. That's your budget. You keep watering it. You give it lots of sunlight. That's more of your budget. And the tree grows. And as the tree's growing, you're like, okay, now I'm going to cut that tree out of the ground and move it somewhere else. Well, yes, I mean, it can work, but wouldn't it be better to just leave that tree in there and just give it more water and more fertilizer and more sunlight? I think that would grow the tree faster than moving it. So that's what I'm finding with Facebook ads lately, that this method is a nice complement to like the 2-step method that I have, which I can explain in another video, but this works very well. And it's very simple, very easy to manage. Basically, you just go into your ad account and look, or you could set up rules and you could say, look, if that test budget, that test campaign spends $20, $30, $40 without a sale, just shut it off. And you can have that run a couple times a day if you really wanted to. And your campaign overall is going to be fine. Because when you're turning off test ads, it's not a bad thing. Now for your winning ads, you can be turning up the budget, and then you could be turning down the budget depending on performance over the last 3 or 7 days. Again, you could use automated rules for that too. The way that I set up all my campaigns is at the ad set level, I always have ad set name contains either winner or test. That way, when I'm setting up my rules for that campaign, I can set my rules to look at the ad set name and look for winner. And then now Facebook knows only apply these rules to the winner ad set. Or test, only apply these rules to the test ad set. Because I don't want Facebook going in and turning off my winners if they spend like $20 in a day without a sale. Because overall, I know that's a winner. So I have a different set of rules for winners versus tests. Okay, I hope that makes sense. The key here is you want to get that budget up there. And you want to apply the rule of if it ain't broken, don't fix it. So I think that's what, maybe I should name this campaign method that. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. That's what the whole core of this method is. It just relies on splitting up your budget so that your campaign itself is not going to tank when you make some changes in there. And it's just like, you got something working, don't touch it. I mean, you can bump the budget or decrease the budget a little bit, but other than that, don't transplant that ad somewhere else if you can avoid it, especially on new accounts, because new ad accounts just, they seem to be very almost petrified of any changes that you do. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you'd like to see more on this, let me know. I have been running a whole ton of experiments because I did recently just get back onto Facebook ads, and I'm frankly enjoying the ride and the results. So this is one of my methods that it came up because one of my members of PPC Coach actually was asking about what to do with new ad accounts instead of my two-step method. So if you need some help with your ads too, or anything, you can join my membership, either printondemandcoach.com or ppccoach.com. In both of those, currently, as of shooting this video, I'm building out a brand new Shopify store selling t-shirts. So a lot of people don't really practice what they preach. I do. And I'll tell you right now, it's not easy. This is not an easy thing that you're going to get involved in. So if you want to do that too, why not join the community? There's already people in there, a lot of great people, and we'd love to have you in there. So go to my site. Link is in the description. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.